This is an online satsang with Swami Sitaramananda on unity and diversity. It was recorded April 28th from the Yoga Farm in Grass Valley, California.
So you see the logo again. I repeat. You see unity and diversity. You see the square. You see the triangle going upward. You see the Om. You see true world order. You see the four paths of yoga: service, karma yoga, devotion, bhakti yoga, meditation, raja yoga, and jnana yoga, the path of realization. So this is what we are doing. Can you see the slide has changed?
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you.
Okay. So I was talking how this topic is very important. It's always have been important because always, as human beings, as societies, we always have this kind of inner conflict, a group against the other, a person against the other, because we don't see our unity, we only see our differences. When I was in Canada, Quebec, then there's the whole conversation going on all the time about Quebec need to split from Canada because we're French speaking and so on. The city is divided in two. You know, this is English speaking neighborhood, French speaking neighborhood, but we don't see also there's an Italian speaking neighborhood. There's a Haitian speaking neighborhood, the Asian, Chinese, Chinatown. So, you know, so sometimes we separate like this, but you know, if you start to separate, you will separate. It's infinite differences. And we cannot live with each other, we cannot talk with each other if we define ourselves as our differences. So we need to define ourselves as something that we have in common. So unity in diversity. So please note, it's not unity and diversity like people said, you know, but it's unity at the same time in diversity. At the same time, when we are different, we are united. There is something in common. And that's the Vedanta philosophy that is not easy to understand. But unity in diversity basically is the truth about life. So we talk about Vedantic meditation as taught by Sankaracharya. You see the photo. He taught Advaita Vedanta philosophy. He was born 8th century AD, and the teaching is synthesized in 3 sentences. There's only one reality, one truth, called Brahman. Sat Chit Ananda, Brahman. Existence absolute, knowledge absolute, and bliss absolute. There's only that one reality. The universe, that means everything, of names and forms, is only apparent reality, changing, and therefore not considered to be real. And the individual self is, in truth, this unchanging consciousness hidden by the changing waves of the mind. The individual self, in truth, is that one consciousness. We say Atman and Brahman are one. So the individual self feels him or herself. You see, I have to say, because I'm trying to be politically correct, otherwise people would throw me bad tomato. So I write like this: the individual self feels him or herself, you see, because I have to accept, I have to earn a gender difference. So the individual self, in fact, the individual self, the Atman doesn't have gender, doesn't have color, doesn't have, sizes, doesn't have any kind of, big or small, intelligent or not intelligent. The Atman is one. The individual self, the Jiva, the one that identifies with the body and mind, feels him or herself to be separate due to the identification with the body and mind. So the moment you identify yourself with your body, and you say, I'm a male and I'm a female. I'm 20 years old, I'm 50 years old. I'm white, I'm black, I'm a white hair, and I'm a red hair, and so on. So then the identification with the body, and the body comes with the mind. It's a package deal when you're born. The body and the mind comes together. If you identify yourself with it, then you feel yourself to be separate and different. And this is where the problem lies, okay? That we feel ourselves to be very separate and different. The moment the baby, the other day, one of my students has a baby, so I went by clothing for the baby. So the first thing the merchant would ask, is a boy or a girl? So because it's a boy, then you buy blue. If it's a girl, then you buy pink. So I say yellow. So we bought for the baby yellow clothing. Anyway, we all the time see ourselves, but also the whole society, if you like, or everybody around us, always see ourselves as different. But here, the argument starts. Under apparent differences, nature is sacred and is diverse. There are many types of fruits. So you see here the tropical fruits here. I don't know, you are in America, do you know this fruit? The pink one, it's called, what's it called in English?
Dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit. Yeah, it's big. It has some spikes here. You open inside, it's white. Yeah, you eat the white stuff. It has little black seeds. Yeah, and you have here the mango. You have here, it's called the longan. It's open, and then you see the jelly stuff that you eat, very sweet. And there's a black seed inside. And what is this here? I don't know the name here. It look like a pear.
Plum.
But pear plum, but it's Asian plum, pear, soft. And oranges in Asia are green. They're not orange. Okay, they call oranges, but it's green. Okay, and here are some probably tangerine or imported oranges that are orange. So there are many types of fruits wherever you look, in whatever country. There's many types of flowers, incredible number of flowers, very different one another, types of insects, animals, beings, types of humans. Now you see only really diversity, but we need to think about our difference differently according to Vedanta by asking ourselves the question, what is underlying all these differences? So in the same manner that you look at all these ornaments, jewels or ornaments, they are made of gold, okay? So the essential nature of these objects is gold, okay? So it can be now, it's called the necklace, it's called the crown, very heavy gold. It's called a bracelet, an earring. No, this is a wedding ring, and this is the earring. Yeah? So you can call by different names, and it has completely different shape and form, and different cost and different weight, yet it is made out of gold. If you take the gold out of all these objects, there will be nothing. Okay, so the essential nature of all these objects is gold. It's not the shape, it's not the name, it's not the usage. Yeah. So in the same manner, you see the different objects made out of clay. You see the soup pot, you see the planter, yeah. You see the flower vase, very fancy, all glaze. You see the big pot that people use to gather water from the rain. And you use this water for washing the toilet in Asia. And then you have this beautiful flower vase for probably the altar. Another one. There are different shapes and forms, and they are called by different names and have different usage. Yeah, and you imagine this guy say, oh, look at me, I'm beautiful, and people bow in front of me, I sit in the altar, how important I am, people bow to me every day, and look at you guys, fat guy here, you are just good to wash the toilet. So one is laughing at the other, you know, but really they're all made of clay. If you remove the clay out of this, then there will be no pot. Okay, so the forms, the names, and the functions are apparent. I mean, it looked like the differences are there, but the truth of this whole group of objects is called clay. Yeah, without clay, there are no pots. So clay is the important thing that you need to remember here, even though the shape, the form, usage are different. Here, look at this. The universe is made of names and forms. That's the nature of everything around us. Different types of flowers, yeah, of colors and shapes. These look very nice, but you know, you walk in the forest. This is, I took it from a walk in China mountain. One time we did TTC there. And this little guy is very teeny small. This is very big camera. I zoom like big, but teeny small. This, I took it, this is a plum tree, yeah, near the house here in Vietnam. This is also teeny small, but it has little fruit, yeah. This is a very fragrant flower. This is another flower, very special with this thing sticking out. And then this is the lotus flowers. So the universe have different types of flowers and different types of insects and creatures. Yeah, these are beautiful butterfly, very funny insect, very funny insect. Yeah, very beautiful and very looking very strange. Yeah, insect. This is in China. Look at this guy. It looks like a helicopter, exactly like a helicopter. And look at this bug. Okay, so they're very different. Different types of animals. Some are very small, some are big. Yeah, you see there's elephant, and elephant here is huge with the baby. Yeah, I don't know this picture come from where, but this picture I took is in India, the lion. This one is alpaca in the yoga farm. No, it's not alpaca. It's
Lama.
Lama. A long time I was not at the yoga farm. So Lama at the yoga farm. This is a deer that I took in India. These are the how do you call this? This panda in China. I went to that panda zoo, and these are the birds, bluebird. How do you call this bird that imitate you?
Parrot.
The parrot, yeah. You see, they look very, very different. Now look at this landscape. Yeah, you have the ocean, the river landscape, the sand dunes landscape. This must be in the USA, you know, the Grand Canyon. This must be in somewhere in the Andes, big forest, all kinds of trees, very thick. Yeah. So different types of landscape, different types of environment, and different types of people. Yeah. So you see, age different, gender different, color different. Yeah. But we see only the differences, and we behave badly with each other. Yeah, according to race. Some people identify as being white, some people identify as being black, some people identify as being Asian, and there's some discrimination, racial discrimination going on. Another person is looking down on another person, say my skin is, you know, darker than you. And now we have in the language, in society, we have to say like this, different words to identify groups, like Asian group. I forgot the name now. In America, it will become very sophisticated. There's a different name that group these Asian, different types of Asian together. And then there's the black.
Do you mean
brown,
AAPI? Swami?
AAPI.
Asian American Pacific Islander. Yeah.
Yeah. Asian American Pacific Islander. And then the black, brown, and, you know. So I don't know. I belong to what? Brown or what? So, you know, it depends on the color of your skin. Yeah. So that's a problem. And there's a different types of occupation, status, different kinds of minds, different type of people. Yeah. But they have the same consciousness. Yeah, so the same, like we say, gold is an essential nature of all these ornaments. Clay is the essential nature of all the pots. So consciousness is the essential nature of all the different people. Without clay, there is no pot. Without consciousness, there are no people. So stop identifying ourselves and others with our outside appearances and our occupations. Try to see unity of consciousness all the time. Remember that we are one. I am you, and you are me. In essence, I am you, and you are me. Yeah, my size, my shape, my gender, my color might be different, but my essential nature, which is consciousness, is the same as yours. Makes sense? So that's the argument, yeah, to say that there's a apparent only differences, Essential nature is one. The same like the waves are the same. The waves are the same as the ocean. But in the ocean, there are different kinds of waves. There's a small one, there's a blue one, there's a green one, there's a big one. Yeah, you imagine the waves comparing with each other and say, look at me, I'm so big and you are so small. Yeah, I'm beautiful color and I have white foam, and you have nothing. Look at this. So then all the waves comparing with each other. But in fact, yeah, there's only one ocean. And all the waves are part of the ocean. They are made of the same H2O. Okay, so the same. We are one consciousness. We are one consciousness. So we need to find our unity in diversity and learn to respect all, to meditate on the differences, to find our oneness. So this is Mother Teresa. It's amazing to see her. Sometimes you see some video of her, how she took care of everybody. Yeah, there's a children, orphan children. And then you see she took care also of the adult. She took care of the sick. She took care of the teen. She took care of everybody. So there is one love. Yeah, she sees only oneness. So for us, there is a four path of meditation. Yeah, like Mother Teresa, the path of Bhakti Yoga. Very simple. Love is all and all is love. So you see, you love everyone as one. The path of Karma Yoga, serve oneself in others. So it's a path of service. It's not like you like somebody, you serve them, and you don't like somebody, you don't serve them. Yeah, but you try to serve the one self that you see in front of you, and you serve them as their own self, your own self. In Raja Yoga meditation, you try to control the mind so that you can see the underlying oneself. Okay? In Jnana Yoga meditation, you do self-inquiry, which is called in Sanskrit vichara. You ask yourself, who am I? And then you try to remove the wrong answer, the illusions, and the differences, so that you can find that one self when you ask the question of who am I? So we go back a little bit to Raja Yoga. If you want to see the unity, because everyone wants to see the unity, you don't want to see the differences and get caught in all these different conflicts. You need to calm the thought waves so that you can see your own reflection in the water. Okay, so we need to bring ourselves to peace first. So if you find yourself in a situation of conflict, you need to see your own self first, find your peace of mind, and not jumping in, different kinds of conflict that are based on our differences, and then you create more waves. So the father of yoga, Patanjali, said, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. I mean, union is yoga. Union comes from the control of all mental modification. You see the union, you feel and experience a union when your mind is calm, when there is no more different projection of reality externally based on our thoughts. Because the thought waves disturb the vision of oneness and of truth. When the leg has waves, when the mind has thoughts, then your vision of yourself and others is being disturbed. You cannot see the oneness, but you see the projection. You see different changing name and form. So meditation is essential to find unity, because you constantly are observing the mind, you are detached from the thoughts. The thought come, you let them come, and then they go. The thoughts, for example, of hatred. So you become detached. You notice there is hatred in this mind. Instead of identifying with the emotion, I hate this and I hate that. So much of our differences create this hatred. We talk about love, all the teaching talk about love, but you turn around, there's so much hatred. So to see unity, we need to turn the mind inward to see itself. So instead of try to see ourselves through our own mind that project different idea and try to interpret that reality that you see through your mind, we need to turn the mind and see the mind itself. You need to turn the mind around and see the mind itself. Then you see your disillusions, you see your distortions. And you need to become wise that the knowledge of the self cannot come from the mind. You need to know that. So if your mind having this separation, these dislikes, you like to see something beyond the mind, you understand that the truth lies beyond the mind. Somebody say the truth lies, if two people are in conflict, then the truth lies in between both. When you are in conflict, you think that you own the truth. Whatever my vision is right. And then you criticize the other. But the truth lies beyond you and me. So if you understand that, you start to look at the right place. So to find unity and to resolve conflict, we need to introspect and go to the root cause of the suffering. One time there was this whole how do you call it, black, how do you call it? I forgot. Black movement.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, thank you. So then we are not doing demonstration, and some people criticize us, and then our neighbor come and create problem with us because neighbors are white, and in the ashram there are different people, and I'm director of the ashram, and you know, I'm not looking white. I'm not white, and there are some stir up like this. Some people come, and you know, so it stir people up. The idea is, you know, we are doing meditation every day. We pray, respect others. It's not like we are above others and above society or something. Yeah, but it's difficult because when you see the conflict, you might jump in the conflict. Of course, we are for the respect of all as yourself. So the idea is we need to introspect, to go to the root cause of the suffering, because everyone suffers in the conflict. We need to turn within and find out our own preconceived idea about yourself and others. Because, like Einstein says, no solution to the problem can come from the level of consciousness that has created it. If you want to see things differently, you need to change consciousness. And that takes a lot of work. So everyone needs to realize that you are the inner sun, the self, the Atman, that gives light to all. That consciousness that is common in all beings, that consciousness that is one, no comparison, no high, no low, that is untouched, unhurt, unchanged, that eternal presence in our heart, in the heart of all, and realize that you are the self in all, beyond names and forms, beyond color, races, genders, personalities. So cease to look outside to find yourself and to define yourself through what you see in other people, to be looking like you or different than you. So then the temptation is to define yourself with what you see, to be the same like you or different than you. So that is the problem. So everyone needs to really look inside and see another level of ourselves. That is one. So, and remember, you are this infinite ocean of consciousness. So when you look within and you start to meditate, then you can see that. But with our emotions and our projections, it's very difficult to see that we are one. So we need to slow down and we need to educate ourselves to learn to see things differently. We need to find the unity so that we can appreciate the diversity. Sometimes the diversity makes us feel uncomfortable, but we have to train ourselves to be more tolerant, to find the unity, to respect all, to love all, to share with all, to not being abusive. So everyone has to try. So seeing unity in diversity is our learning lesson, is the path to self-knowledge through the self-inquiry of who am I. So how do you learn that path? Through hearing the truth from the scriptures and the teachers that talk about unity. You are one. You are the substratum. You are the screen on which different movies are playing. Reflecting on the truth, thinking about it, contemplating the teaching, even though you might feel completely different, and then realize the truth directly within. So that's the path of Jnana Yoga, the path of self-knowledge. Try to find the unity by not mistaking the vehicle with the driver. So I drive this car, but this car is not me. The characteristics of the car are not describing who am I. So the body is the vehicle. So I'm not red outside, black inside. I'm not sporty. I'm not worth $50,000. So we make mistake when we identify with our vehicle. These are the characteristics of the vehicle, of the body, but it's not me. So I let go of the habit to superimpose the qualities of my body upon my immortal self. And I have to learn to detach. I am not my gender. I'm not my size. I'm not my age. I'm not my race. I need to know the vehicle that I'm driving, but I'm not mistaking the temporary for the eternal. And I'm not attached to the illusions about my external appearance or the quality of my body and mind. So it takes a lot of training because we are so entrenched in a different way of thinking. So we have to learn to meditate on the truth and detach from the mind. I'm not the mind. I'm not this changing mind. My mind is my instrument. It gives me diverse experience of pleasure and pain to teach me to detach. I detach myself from the mind. I learn to be patient, to detach from my mind. Try to find unity by going beyond the emotions. Yeah. I'm not my story of attachment and of rejections. My whole story of disappointments, of pains, come and go. There are different flavors. They are not absolute. They are not the truth. My mind is constantly changing up and down due to my tendencies of liking and disliking. I like somebody or some object, and I dislike somebody and I run away. So that's the mind. It's not me. I need to go beyond the habits of the mind. I calm down and I resist the temptations and the pressures to indulge in my tendencies and repeat my past habits of thinking and acting. I learn the virtue of tolerance, of universal love, of non-judgmental attitude, and of gratefulness. And I meditate, I'm absorbed in the presence within that is unlimited. I sustain the vision of unity that leads to peace and to a state of mind where the mind finds absorption in consciousness itself. So instead of the mind projecting different ideas, the mind is being absorbed in consciousness. It merges with the background. Duality disappears, and there will be only oneness. So this is the meditation. And to remind ourselves, I am the eternal presence. I'm here and now. I let go of the past. I do not worry about the future. I let go of all ideas of who am I and what I'm doing. I practice presence without expectation, fear, and judgment. Sometimes we say mindfulness, the practice of presence, the practice of being. So don't run too fast, learn to relax. Allow yourself to recharge. Sink deep inside. When you are able to relax, you have more awareness that you are not the body. You're free from the mind. And you get in touch with your inner peace. So, a few words just to say that we can experience that difference, that unity within us, but we need to take the time, we need to practice the techniques and try to refrain ourselves from constantly repeating our patterns of division and try to reach out to the unity. And that's it. So that's the topic of today. I think I passed the time. So see you again. You can check the Yoga Farm out website. And you want to be trained in yoga techniques. There's a Taste of TTC coming up next weekend, May 1st and 2nd. It's a free event. It's all day teaching. There's a Vedanta courses. You need to inquire for dates. There's a Vedic Knowledge Conference on July 1st weekend, July 4th weekend. There's a Yoga Teachers Training course online, 200 hours training, June and August upcoming. There's a stress relief efforts during the coronavirus situation. And join us to chant for world peace, to pray for India and the whole world, not just only India, but these days, India become very visible because it seems many people get die and get affected by the virus. So we ask you to share everything, YouTube video, blog, application online, donate to the ashram. So make it your, together we can try to help to change consciousness of the world, to bring more peace. And you can share, if you have a link of the Satsang and the ashram, just send to a bunch of people. Not just only for you, but always try to share knowledge, because knowledge will set you and others free. So the next webinar, the next satsang will be on next Thursday. Okay, the topic is not yet decided. Okay, so I hope that that everything is okay. That I need to get out of here. Stop sharing. Okay, I need to see you all. I'm sorry, the whole talk I didn't see you because of the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint somehow is easy because it explains well the idea. So do you have any questions, Swami? Yoga Farm Swami Sitaramananda, can you tell me how many more minutes, or I already passed the time?
You already passed the time, Swamiji. but
Already
it's
passed
okay.
the time. Yeah.
And
So I'm
the,
sorry.
The CHIT students are having class starting, I think. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, very
7:15.
good. So I'm sorry about that. And we can say the prayer now, and then Arati. The prayer, you can address your prayers to people that are suffering. You see the news, you see terrible suffering that is going on. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugam Pustivananam Urvao Kamiva Bandanan Mecho Mukshiyama Mritan Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugam Pustivananam Urvao Kamiva Bandanan Mecho Mukshiyama Mritan Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugam Pustivananam Urvao Kamiva Bandanan Mecho Mukshiyama Mritan Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Bolo Satguru Sri Sivananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Bolo Sri Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki Jai.